Welcome to AI Wisdom Wednesday, May 14th. Man, getting closer to the middle of the year, which is hard to believe. But let's go ahead and get started. I believe everybody can see my screen. If you can't, please send a message in chat. We've got Sebastian on our team here as a panelist, helping right outside my office. So thank you, Sebastian. So Wisdom Wednesday again. Purpose of today is to help boost AI skills, look at creative ways to use AI and practical tips, and have some fun doing it and walking through it together. Since we're all going to be serving AI here at some point in the near future, we might as well look at it together as we go. So today's going to cover a company called Manus AI, which is a lot of fun to learn about. And again, we're going to dive deep into it today. June 11th, we sort of sprinkle in AI security, AI safety. We've not done a demo or webinar rather on something like that. So I think I'm going to show some things that are starting to become concerning as it relates to AI and how you can protect your business and honestly your personal life as well. So it's becoming more and more talked about, and I think we're probably at a point where it makes sense to discuss AI security as a whole. Agenda is always the same. Try to recap what we talked about last time. So in case you weren't on our last AI Wisdom Wednesday, and then there's a topic you like, you can go grab that Wisdom Wednesday webinar recording, share kind of quick trending news that I find valuable and stuff that I'm using on a daily basis, and then introduce a new AI topic, which today is going to be Manus AI. And we'll do some live demo time and then answer any questions as we go. And I appreciate, looks like we've got somebody dedicating their website here as a volunteer, so thank you. So last webinar, we focused on marketing initiatives, and we jumped around to a couple different tools. One, we started out by doing some deep research to help set up marketing initiatives for, in this case, Bucket's basketball training, and generated a report. We then showcased how to create new types of digital content. In this case, we created a new logo off the existing logo. We redesigned a website and gave a new UX UI for that website off of the old one. And then we also designed some ads for Meta to help drive lead acquisition for the business, all within a 30-minute period. So it was a really good, exciting webinar, and appreciated everybody's volunteering of their content. So what's trending news in AI? One of my favorite topics, and I was thinking, all right, what all do we update on today? And I thought, let's take a quick step back and identify where we are really when it comes to AI. One of my favorite articles that I always every now and then I'll post on LinkedIn, or X or whatever, to share with folks that haven't seen it before. This guy Tim Urban, the website's Wait But Why, wrote a fantastic series of blog posts. There's two called "The AI Revolution: The Road to Superintelligence" in 2015, and it was really when reading that really hit me in terms of what's coming. And he starts out by explaining, over the course of all of human history, right, time here, you've got this level of human progress, and we've sort of slowly gone up, over time, and we're at this little precipice where the stick figure is, where right AI starts to happen. And this is again from the eyes of 2015 looking onward. And he sort of explained in the article that it's kind of hard for a lot of people to jump on the bandwagon, right? There's still far more resistance to AI, or ignorance or an unwillingness to recognize that it's here. But with a lot of people, it makes sense, right? When you look, you can't see into the future, and when you look back, you sort of say, all right, well, the historical growth rate over time's, it's good, and it gets better a little bit each year, but it's hard to again see this is where we actually are. And so to kind of prove that to you, in the last year, the smartest AI went from a 96 IQ. So you can see here in this, because this has been a sort of viral topic in social media circles around AI this past few weeks. But you can sort of see the average IQ here on the bottom x-axis scale, and you've got different models being tested on the same test over time, sort of these quizzes, right? They take, and then where the scores fall. And now this is 2024. Remember, AI just came out, a year before that. We're now at 136, 1 year later. And you can see this here with the little sort of yellow icons. This is all OpenAI and some of their different models. You've got Grok now starting to show up pretty far in advance. Elon just announced that Grok 3.5 is going to be coming very soon in the next few weeks. So in 1 year, we've gone from 96 IQ to 136. okay, in terms of the average IQ of AI against against humans. And so when you think about that, right now, AI is smarter than 85% of us collectively, not just individually, right? Sort of as a human race. And they're predicting by the end of 2026, AI will be smarter than 99.9% of us as a group. So we're going fast. And so it really kind of re-highlights where are we really? Again, I love this guy in the way he breaks down complex tasks in a very simple way. But you can sort of see AI intelligence, decades ago, they thought, all right, hey, AI will be past the intelligence of an ant, past the intelligence of a bird, a chimp, a dumb human, and an Einstein. It's a very, very small gap there. And we're kind of at this place where, it's funny because people are like, oh, that's cool. Robots are, starting to show up and we're seeing them here and there and they're doing tricks. But the reality is they actually are real robots. This was just posted yesterday of Optimus. So if you follow Optimus, I'll turn the music down a little bit. It's not too loud. They're building a robot that you'll have in your business, you'll have in your house, et cetera. And this is showing this is not CGI or AI. This is the robot they're building and working on. And so I thought it was a good point in time, having seen this post yesterday from Tesla and Optimus to sort of showcase, this is where we are and kind of where we're headed. So not to freak anybody out, but hopefully this is a fun article. I do recommend checking it out. I put the URL down here. If you just go to waitbutwhy.com and look at the blog posts, you'll see this article is kind of like, what made this guy very well known. And then there's a second article with it. It's a long read, so but highly recommend it. All right, so having scared everyone, let's dive into how we can help our current businesses for a little bit until the robots do take over. A couple of things have been really awesome with this past week is deep research it continues to get better and better. And we're going to talk about Manus AI, which is really a deep research platform. But now with tools like Grok, you can generate and create PDFs of your of deep research. So as an example for this, I created a PDF of a novel to help 8 to 12-year-olds learn how to play baseball and improve their IQ. And it generated a really good PDF that's 5 pages explaining the rules of the game and then a couple situations. You can now also export deep research into PDFs in ChatGPT. This is huge. It's basically like generating, a Gartner quality study on anything. So whether you're looking to get into a new market, analyze your own business, et cetera. Just yesterday, my Vistage group, helped a member who's thinking about how, what other markets and products can they make in their space, and sort of we walked through how to use this tool to make that happen. So you're going to see more and more of this now and all the different tools that you're using. There's also been improved product search in ChatGPT. I don't today use this a ton. I probably should use it more, but wanted to share with folks that if you're looking for something new for your office, or even at home, they just announced a bunch of improvements to being able to search for products and purchase products on ChatGPT as well, using the 4.0 model. And then Manus, the one we're going to cover today, and the reason we're covering it, which was pretty good timing on our part, even though we didn't plan it, is it's now available to everyone without a wait list. So prior to this announcement the past week, you had to join a wait list, and I think I was on it for 6 months, and then they finally let some people that were on the beta wait list get access. And then just this week, they've opened it up with no wait list, and they're giving people free credits to check it out. And then a bonus of 1,000 credits. Again, we'll walk through that here in a second. All right, so let's dig into the actual AI Wisdom Wednesday today. What is Manus? And just like when we introduce a new tool, we always cover kind of a little bit about the business so you guys get a feel for it and pricing. So Manus can be found on manus.ai or manus.im. If you go to manus.ai, it'll just redirect here. The company, so it's kind of clever by these guys. The company's registered in Singapore, and it's actually headquartered in Beijing, China. So I raise that as a key point because we know that when it comes to China and data, it's very controversial. So just know that related to this, it is a Chinese-based operating company. And I still think it's worth going through because they're really innovating in a way that we've not seen with some of the other platforms like ChatGPT and others. A really cool part of Manus AI, they've got their own collection of pre-built sort of research. So, for example, if you create your account and you just want to check it out and learn how to use it, you actually can go in and look at some of these just on their website without even creating your account. They also have a user sort of aggregated collection. So people like us, we can create our own research and prompts, and we can publish those, and then we can actually publish them to the Manus sort of user collection. So there's a lot of really cool use cases out there that even just using this as a tool to get ideas for other tools like OpenAI, ChatGPT, Grok, et cetera. Really, really great way to get some different ways people are using these platforms. From a pricing perspective, again, you get a free, I think, 300 credits to start. Their pricing model is a little different than everybody else. They all have kind of like their intro pricing. Big difference is you use credits versus just sort of a monthly plan with ChatGPT and Grok. And I'll kind of explain this here in a minute. It's kind of the way it operates. It's going to run tasks in congruency, so you can have multiple prompts and chats going at the same time, which is pretty advantageous, right? So, when you're running and asking a prompt something, we don't have to sit there and wait for that one to be done to start our next one or work on another task. We can literally have multiple going at one time, and they will notify us. We don't have to keep the website open. We could start it now, go home, and then we get there, we see that it's done. So it really creates a lot of productivity for much more complex tasks. Now, how is it different, right, from some of the others we're using? It's really good with strategic tasks. You have to, of course, give it a lot of data. You can give it access to files, and I'll show you some of that here in a second. But it's not as quick as ChatGPT. So you'll find that it's much slower because it's much more methodical in the way that it's operating. And you'll kind of see that here in the review, and you can use Google or search on X for comparisons of Manus to ChatGPT. People always kind of compare things to ChatGPT since they were really the first model several years ago. But speed, Manus isn't going to win. Depth, it will. Actionable insights, people really like it. Although I might argue that ChatGPT's recent stuff and even Grok are much better than just 2 stars. It's very easy to use, and its ability to process to handle process automation is far better than anything we've seen to date, and that's one of the reasons we want to cover it. In terms of speed, this gives you an example of 3 different tasks. So it took 18 minutes to go through a task of an AI news summary, creating target audience research, 15 minutes, a daily competitive report, 22 minutes, whereas you started to see with ChatGPT much faster times. How they compare themselves from a model perspective against ChatGPT, which is the darker gray. They say they're a little smarter than using deep research on ChatGPT. So of course, they're not going to show that they're not as smart on their own website, but that gives you a little feel for where they see themselves. All right, so let's dig into some demo stuff because I want to use the 20 minutes to really highlight how the tool works. So again, still the internet, question everything, treat your data like gold. Do not give all your data to everyone and anyone without thinking about it. And I'm not talking just in terms of them learning about your business, but it exposes user data, all kinds of stuff, sort of across the board. So just be wise in how you use it. When in doubt, close it out. Hit the X in the browser, and you're done. All right, so a couple of the use cases we're going to go through today. We're going to design some icons for improved brand identity. This is actually a really cool way to bump up your presentations. We're going to do some SEO recommendations for improved site visibility. You'll be able to see how this is very different than the way ChatGPT works. We're also going to perform a UX UI analysis to increase client conversion. And then we're going to break down complex policy documents. So Manus can be an excellent tool. If in your business you're dealing with, maybe you're wanting to serve alcohol now, or you've got a leaky roof, or there's some type of compliance that is a complex legal situation that you're not going to use it as your legal attorney, but you're going to use it to help understand how to get my small business in a position to be able to comply with tax or different complex policies that do exist. And then we're going to do some data analysis recommendations and see how Manus handles that. Our next AI Wisdom Wednesday will be Wednesday, June 11th. Again, we're going to go over AI safety, and I'm going to show you some real stories of what's happening to folks in different businesses and how to protect your business as it relates to that. All right, so let's open up Manus here. I'm gonna jump to a different screen, and the first one we're looking at is this is a company website. How do we create a better brand identity? Let me get my presenter notes up here. All right, so we've got an example website here. So we're going to throw this in the chat. So again, chat's going to be very similar to all the other ones we've been using. And we've got a volunteer, so we're going to use levelingthefields.org. Thank you, Melissa, for letting us use that. Levelingthefields.org. Right. And we're saying just based on design, style, and visual language, let's create some icons for PowerPoint presentations. As we go through this, I'll showcase a few pieces of functionality. So they have reasoning effort. So this is the same as picking a model in ChatGPT. They have standard or high effort. This is going to take more time. So we won't use this today. I could use it, but it just takes a little longer. And you'll get the point of everything we're doing today with the standard version. And like all the others, you can upload files. You can actually connect your Google Drive to this and let it go ham on a bunch of files in a Google Drive folder. So again, be cautious with that and what you want used with your data. All right, so when we're in here, you can tell we've started this one. We're going to go ahead and start all of them because we only have so much time. We can't, we'll be able to sit and wait for each one to finish. We'll get them running simultaneously and then look at them as they do complete. As it works, I just sort of show you here what happens, right? You put in your request. It typically always asks to clarify. I'm going to say here, you decide on all. I'm only doing that for the sake of time. But you'll see if you want to notice how it's working, it shows you the tasks that it's currently on and the upcoming tasks that it's going to be working on. So again, very much like a process automation for handling complex tasks. So while that's going, let's go ahead and get some of the other ones working as well. So let's do the second one where we're going to look at an SEO audit. You'll notice on the left-hand side here, okay, usually with ChatGPT and others, if we create a new task, it kind of stops that existing task. Well, we can run simultaneous tasks with this platform. So everybody knows what we're looking at. Open this up. Okay, very cool. Great website. All right, let's submit on this one. Let's get another one here for us. Let's grab form UX UI analysis. Again, we'll start another task and we'll stick with leveling the fields. And we have two more. So actually, I can show you that one. Let's do this one. Yeah, and I'll show you this one. I already did these. I had a class. So let's take a look what we got so far. All right, so we got a handful of them running. With the first one we did was the design consistent icons for PowerPoint. So you'll notice it's still running. Looks like we only have two more tasks left. When you have multiple items going, it will notify you here when it needs you to do something. So we got a one here. So again, it asks questions, just like it did on the first one. And we're going to say you decide as the SEO expert. Spelled expert wrong, but it's smart enough to know that. All right, so now we got a new set of 8 tasks we're working through. So we'll let that go. Let's check in on our other one here. You decide as the UX UI expert. Okay, so this is the one on the performing UX UI analysis. Now it's starting. It's got 6 tasks going. Okay. While these are thinking, I'll show you the lay of the land here. Notifications, they do have a mobile app, which is actually pretty nice. So if for some reason you want to check in on your tasks on the go, the iPhone app is fantastic. I've got it. Works great. You can access their knowledge base, and then just like the other tools we have with your settings, obviously you got your sort of normal UI UX um, sort of appearance you can use. You can manage your shared links and deployed websites. So what this is, Manus does something unique where you can deploy these things to a Manus website to be able to view or share, and then you can delete those. So you can actually look at that all there in the website. Sorry, I clicked out of it real quick by accident. You also have this here for handling errors. We're working on a Shiny app. Um, uh, Actually working to, where's that at to show you here? Event registration. So it actually chose to use Shiny in this example for my Nike example, which is here. So we create a pre-event, post-event registration form to try to help us understand what form should we have for our events to be able to predict future attendance. And I didn't ask it to do Shiny in this case. It chose to do it on its own. And so this is one I did sort of pre-class, but again, we'll go through this one in a second. I want to pause for any questions real quick. I know we're covering a ton of stuff very fast. So while these things load, we'll just give it a second. Kind of cool to see these working though. No, okay. All right, so let me show you, because I did a couple of these ahead of time, so while these load, I'll show you a few of them. So for the UX UI analysis on client conversion, I used a website called Round Tripper. It's actually here locally in town. It's where my son does some baseball with his team. And so for fun, I was like, hey, let's throw it in and have it generate a PDF of improvements to be made to increase new client conversion rates. And so as an example, what that looks like, it already generated the PDF down here. I'll open this up for you. It's actually, I thought pretty incredible. So it gave analysis of um, each of the pages. So I asked for homepage analysis. It sort of gives you strengths, potential areas for improvement of each. How to analyze the service pages. So in this case, classes and camps. And then the booking process. And it actually, knows what software tool it's using and had some critiques on how to improve that. And then the best was it aggregated a lot of this. Oh, well, first it compared it to another competitor in town, who we also know, very good group, both great businesses. And then it had a section to identify areas for improvement, which I thought was fantastic. So the first one was streamlining the booking and registration process, modernizing the user interface. So it really gives actionable insights to improve the website. And then recommendations for conversion optimization. So this is an example of your output you can get in PDF form. So if you've got a website person, hand it off to them. Obviously, read through those recommendations yourself before you hand it off. But all within, 15 minutes, we were able to get incredible recommendations to improve our website overall. Okay. You can view all the tasks and files that were associated with this right here, which is great. But that's an example of being able to generate that UX UI as well. This one, let's see how we're doing on our icons. It's getting closer. I'll just go ahead and show you the tax compliance one as well while waiting. So this is one for if you've got complex, policies or anything you're dealing with from a legal perspective, um, you can give it any URL, any PDF or file format. Maybe you're trying to understand an old piece of equipment, right? It's very complex, thick manual. You can throw that in here and ask it to make an easy to understand visualization. In this case, it asked what type of visual I wanted, and I wanted to analyze tax policy for accrual versus cash accounting to make sure my business is compliant with the state of Indiana. And so it did generate that, and I put it into a website. I published the website here, and then you can visit it. Now, it's not published to the community, but you could share it if you wanted by clicking that. So go ahead and visit it. And it's created this mind map that we can zoom in on to understand a several hundred page tax compliant document and how it applies specifically to my business. In this case, we said we were a membership-based and non-membership-based gym. You can sort of see here. So it walks through what are the implications for your business, membership revenue, and explains each of the different pieces of the document for you. And so this becomes an excellent sort of compliance document that we can then reference the handbook itself for the state of Indiana to be compliant. And again, this is just sort of one example of that for you here. Okay. Let's see how we're doing on these other ones here. Almost done. We're at 4. So you can see here, design the icon set. It's validating consistency and going to report and send icons to us. And again, that's going to be for this website here. It's almost done. I can go ahead and show you the part of this app here as well. So this is for creating your own data analysis on your own event registration. So I actually analyzed a Nike field hockey camp registration site and said, let's create, look at the form, landing page and create your ideal pre-event registration form and post-event registration form. If I, as a business, want to maximize my ability to predict using linear and logistic regression, future attendance at future camps, because all part of, part of predictive analysis and machine learning is, getting the right data, not getting too much data. We don't, it takes forever to sift through, but like what's ideal to collect. And so it created that and asked it to put it into a site, which is a Manus site here. And so here's an example of what that output was for a Nike camp. Gives us participant information, everything you kind of would expect. It pulled this information from the camp registration page. It's quite extensive. So this is kind of your pre-registration. And then it gives us our post-registration with a camp experience and satisfaction. Okay. And then it gives us how the data can be used to make those predictions. And so this gets a little statistical, but for those that have the time to dig in, we can predict the amount that they're going to spend. As an example, we can predict the future attendance as a yes or no, or did not attend or did attend. And it has outlined statistically what should we be looking at in the output of that model to know whether or not we have a good model. Okay. Now, this is helpful because if you work with, partners or people in data science, you can now, sort of get these concepts grasped as a team, hand it off to somebody, then, data, in a very protected way. Naturally, we're not going to put, our event registration data on this platform and hand off people's names and locations and everything to any AI. But it gives you a good sense as to what direction you want to go and how you would use a platform like this, to give guidance to people you work with. Okay, so that one's a much more in-depth, probably more complex task. If I were to do it again, I would probably use the high effort model, not the standard model. Again, this is just my original prompt, so you can see it there. All right, you're kind of getting a feel for why people say it takes a while with Manus compared to ChatGPT. It really does take a while. I think we're almost done though. So we'll give it a couple minutes. I was really hoping for the SEO one to come out quickly, but let's see. But you can tell that it's very, very detailed, right? So here it's going through the robots txt file on the website. It's going to truly provide great analysis to Melissa and the levelingthefields.org. There's a couple things you can switch to. So if you're a coder, you can switch to Visual Studio Code as well. Right now, we're obviously in the browser. So we got one thing here. Still working through that issue. And this is almost done. So give it 1 second. Well, that's good. Let me pause my screen and I'll show you something else here. Pull something up for you. Oh, the icon one just finished. Take a look at that. All right, here we go. So for leveling the fields, as somebody that's designed icons in Photoshop before, I can tell you this is, I know it took a while because we're on a short webinar, but this would have taken forever to do. I mean, one, to even come up with ideas for icons, to find the icons, and to make them the right color, the right theme. And we just designed a whole bunch of stuff here in only a few minutes, right? And it gives you a detailed description of what the icons are, where you should use them in your presentation, your website, etc. So again, very, very easy way to do some complex tasks that would otherwise, you'd have to pay somebody to do here with design content. You could use this for things other than icons too, right? So that's a great example. Since some of these are taking a little while, I was going to show you on the collections what it looks like here. So one of them was the brand identity. So that's the one we just showed with some of the icons, but there is some productivity. Let's look at, let's see if I can find it here for you. Data analysis. Those are okay. We're doing one right now. Productivity. Oh, yeah, website. This is the one. All right. So this sort of shows you what that task looks like. You can skip to the results. So if you're wanting to, not wait. So your output on that is a very comprehensive audit report with prioritized recommendations, high, medium, low, and the implementation to make those changes to your website. So really, really detailed SEO feedback, and some of the other platforms, ChatGPT and others do really, really good with it. But I would say from a task automation perspective for something like this, this is definitely probably in the lead at this point. Just the fact they're giving the technical changes and really going through your stuff. So I know we're over time. So what I'll promise to do, Melissa, is I'll get your contact info for the registration. I will send you the output of each one of these after the call, so that you have them. But I don't want to force everybody to stay on as well. So if there aren't any questions, I'll give it a few minutes in case there are. Otherwise, we can let folks go. Yep, awesome. I appreciate everybody joining today and wish everybody a happy Wednesday. Thanks so much. Bye.